Good morning. I'm Brent Waltrip. The Muhlenberg County Public Library is doing an interest type of series, and they've asked me to do something on backpacking because I enjoy backpacking. This spring I did 130 miles on the Appalachian Trail over a 15-day period, mostly in North Carolina. I almost crossed into Virginia but didn't quite make it. And so last week, 2 weeks ago, we did a video on the big three. We did boots, but also backpack tent and sleeping system. And so today we're going to do the kitchen and backpacking foods. And so I just want to share with you kind of how I do things. This is my backpack. And in my backpack, I've got, there's two places that I go to for my kitchen and food. All my food goes into this except for lunch, what I'm hiking in with the day. And then I've got a green bag. I learned real early that everything needs to go in one place. I went 1 week every night trying to find my matches, and I realized my kitchen has to go in one place, the same place every time. And so in my kitchen bag are my utensils, my pot, and my stove as well. This is the pot system that I used. This is a titanium set by a company called Snow Peak. I bought it from Recreational Equipment in Knoxville, actually. It's a two-piece. This is 16 ounces total. And I use this as my coffee mug. I heat my coffee. I do most of my boiling of water in that. And then this is a little bit larger if I have to do stews or something like that. I always carry extra matches. What I feel, especially matches and lighting, there's some things that you need to have your primary, but you also need a backup and even a backup to the backup. So I've got matches just in case I need those. I've stuck some coffee packs. These are single serve coffee packs like tea bags that I make my tea with. And then I get down here to the bottom of my pot and I've got my stove. This particular stove is by Jetboil and it's called a Mighty Mo. This little stove cost about $59 at Recreational Equipment. If you're a member, they give you 10% rebate dividend back at the end of the year, and I got it $20 on sale. And so this is my stove, and it takes a butane propane canister as the fuel source. This canister, I got this canister at Walmart. It's about $4.99 for the canister, and it should make, it doesn't say how many boils this one will do, but this particular canister will last me about a week on the trail, and it is available at most outfitters. It's available on the Appalachian Trail at Walmart, so I can replace that, throw this away, get me a new one. And so this is my basic stove, okay, for cooking. And in my food bag, this bag is by Granite Gear. It's super lightweight. It is heavy duty. It is waterproof. The first thing I do when I get into a camp in the evening is I put my pack down where I want to set my tent up. I get my food bag out and I hang it up in a tree. We'll talk about that next time. But I have all of my foods in a bag that's labeled. This one is day one. Typically when I'm hiking, I don't have a breakfast in this bag, but today I think I've even put my breakfast in here. And so the first thing I want to look at is lunches on the trail. For this particular day, I dried some pineapple. I got these at 99 cents for a can of pineapples. I dried them. I dry my own jerky. I was down at Minute Mart last night just checking prices. They got a whole display of dried beef. I use venison. This would have cost you about $5 down at Minute Mart. And so I like this. This is more than 1 day, but I'll seal it back up and use it for the whole week maybe. For lunches, always put some kind of cheese in, and this particular day I've got Baby Bell for lunch. I picked up, this one is Gatorade whey protein bar. It's got about 300 calories in it. I like those. I like to do a lot of variety on what I do, and I want to make sure that my lunches, I have about 600-800 calories. I also make my own. This is Logan bread. I actually got this in a book that I got years ago, The Best About Backpacking. I don't think it's available anymore, but it's one of the best Logan breads. This stuff is real solid. It won't break real easy, but I'll take this and I'll slice it up for my backpacking trip, and I'll have 2 or 3 slices in there, and if I can put some butter on it, it makes it even better. This is a pecan crisp, probably 150 calories. I've got a lot of my recipe out of this book. This is Food Planner, Recipes and Menus for a 2,000-Mile Hike by Lou Edsman. It's an Appalachian Trail Conservancy book. It's got all kinds of recipes and resources for foods on the trail. This is a health bar that comes out of that particular book. I also use this cheese. This is a Cracker Barrel cheese. There's several that are available. These are all lunches. This is a Snickers bar almond. There's 2 in here. That's 400 calories right there. I met a guy on the trail who was hiking through, and when he got to Fontana Dam on the south end of the Smoky Mountains, he decided that he was going to live through the Smokies on Snicker bars. And so he got 10 pounds of Snickers. Well, that 40-mile hike from Fontana Dam up to Newfound Gap, by the time he got there, he was just torn up physically. He had to take 2 days off to recover. Snickers are good, but they don't have a lot of vitamins. I dry my own fruit, and this is dried bananas. This is a whole banana that weighs probably an ounce. These are butterscotch bars that I made. I have a food saver vacuum seal type of thing that I'm able to take the air out. This is made of butterscotch, and although butterscotch isn't my favorite, when I pull one of these out once a week or something like that, it kind of provides something real nice. These are Anzaca cookies made by, it's Australian New Zealand Army Corps. It was made back in World War I was the recipe, and the women sent it to their men overseas, and after a 2-week trip, it made the trip, and they're real good. I like that. Here's some dried apples that I use. One of the things I do on the trail is I will use tortilla shells. And there's nothing better than a Spam and cheese tortilla sandwich for lunch rolled up in a tortilla shell. Also, the tortilla shells are real good. This is peanut butter. This is 200 calories in this pack. And this is almond butter. They make it, and you can also get sunflower seeds. The best lunch that I found as far as trail bars that you can buy, one of the best is just Nature Valley. I got these down at Kroger. The best purchase is Big Sur bars. I found these down in Georgia at Neal's Gap at the Outfitter there. You can only find them a couple places, and so I ordered a dozen from the company. This is about 500 calories, and it's one of the best nutrition bars that I have ever had, period. This bar right here is a hiker. This is a hiker bar, and it's got peanut butter. It's got chocolate in it. It's got, in this one sheet cake of that thick, about a little bit bigger than a half-inch thick, it's got a pound of powdered sugar. And there's about 350 calories in that bar right there. This is a Gorp bar. It's got nuts in it. It's got fruit. It's got sugar in it. It's got peanut butter. And these are just some things that I do. And then I made this back in November, put it in the basement. This is fruit cake. And I can see all the nuts in there. It's got fruit, it's got nuts in it. And once a week or once every 2 weeks, I like to have some of my homemade fruit cake. So basically that's what I do for lunch. Lunch on the trail. Typically lunch is the meal you eat between breakfast and supper. Well, I eat lunch about 3 different times. When I'm hiking, I don't want to consume 600, 700, 800 calories all in one sitting. So I'll stop about 11 o'clock and sit down, refill my water bottle, and then maybe eat something, and then stop a couple hours later, a couple hours after that, and finally have supper when I get home. As far as my suppers, there's some foods that you can get that are pre-packaged. These Mountain House is available at Walmart. This is Italian style pepper steak, and there's 2 servings in here, and it's 240. So that's about 500 calories there. I probably need a few more calories. The cost on this is right around $9. It's interesting that once the pandemic hit, things went up, doubled in price. This is a Pro Pack by Mountain House. This is breakfast skillet, and this package is 510 calories, and what they've done is they've sucked the air out of it so it doesn't take up near as much space. But also I like Backpacker Pantry. They've got granola with bananas and milk. This is 620 calories right here. This one is 310 calories total. So there's a lot of companies that you can get backpacking foods that all you do is add water and let it sit. This is chicken flavored rice by Easy Prep. I got this from the Ready store online. This is 1,200 calories. So what I will do is I will open this up. I'll put half of it in a vacuum seal bag. I'll write the directions on it, and I'll have chicken flavored rice. But one of the things I do, typically I don't use these foods very much. One of the advantages of these foods is the shelf life on these things is like 20 years. And so you can put this in your basement, and when pandemics take place, this is good till 2047. And so it's when the shelves are bare, you got some food storage. But what I like to do is I like to make some of my own things. This is a box of rice-a-roni. Basically, you bring it to boil, and then you let it simmer a little bit. This whole box is 700 calories. But what I might do to this box is I might add some chunk-like tuna or premium chicken. What I did is I've got a 12-ounce can of chicken breast, and I dehydrated it. And this is a 12-ounce can of chicken breast, and it only weighs 3 ounces. And so what I will do is I'll take probably a 1/4 cup of this and put it into a pot to boil with my rice or something like that. I also dry my own vegetables. This is just a simple mixed bag of vegetables that I got at the freezer department at the grocery store. And this is about 3 of those bags dried up. And I'll take a 1/2 cup of this. I'll put it in a cup of water and let it boil for a while. You can buy dried mixed vegetables. I got this at the Amish store down south of Elkton at the Amish bulk food store. And this is mixed vegetables. They've got some spices and things in there as well. Last night for supper, I had to try it. I got a package of loaded baked potatoes. There's 4 servings in here. This by itself is 440 calories. And I added to it a 1/2 cup of mixed vegetables. I added pack of chicken, and I cut it in half. And so I had about 500 calories in this baked potato. But what I did, I tried something different. There was a guy online that suggested that his favorite go-to was the instant mashed potatoes with a bag of Doritos nacho cheese. So I crunched up these things and put them in my mashed potatoes. I think it made it more nutritious or something like that. I don't know. I thought about, well, let's try it with the Cool Ranch with the potatoes. You know, it's not, I don't particularly like instant mashed potatoes, but it's something that you can get that's easy to make. There's several of the Knorrs. This is chicken and broccoli. Basically, you bring it to boil and then you let it simmer for a little bit. A lot of times when I get into camp, before supper or maybe before I go to bed, I'll use the cup of soup type of thing. You just bring water to boil, put it in a cup, and let it simmer, let it sit for a while, and it hydrates. And so that's my lunch, that's my supper. My breakfast, what I do for breakfast, I've got this one here. I make my own granola. Granola, the difference in muesli and granola is baked. I bake this at 300 degrees for 40 minutes. This has the base in here is long cooking oats, but it's got some brown sugar, it's got nuts. Sometimes I'll put dates in here or raisins or cranberries. And then I put a 1/4 cup of dried milk. So all I have to do here is just add some water and I'm good to go for a meal. And for breakfast also, if you want to go store-bought, one of the best store-bought granolas that I have found is called Bare Naked. This is fruit and nut brand. It's a real good granola. Just add some powdered milk to that, or just snack on it. This is bulgur. Bulgur is a cracked red wheat. Takes a little bit longer to cook. I put brown sugar in this. I put some, I don't know if this is dates. It looks like this is dates and almonds in here. I put a tablespoon of cream of wheat to kind of thicken it up a little bit. I bring it to boil, let it boil just a minute, and then let it simmer. And one of the things that I've done is that I've made a little, what I call a cozy thing, that what I can do is I can make something and I can stick it in this insulated pouch here and let that sit, and it retains the heat a little bit, and so it gives it a chance to soak up the water. This is some more of the bulgur that I've done. One of my favorite meals is I make my own muesli, and muesli is uncooked granola. This has oats in it. It's got nuts. I put walnuts. I put almonds. I put pecans in here. I put raisins, chia seed, flax seed. I put a 1/4 cup of dried instant milk powder. And so what I'll do is I'll just add hot water to this, a 1/4 cup or 1 cup of hot water, and I've got a nice hot meal on a cold day. Of course, you can also buy packs of oats. This is a cinnamon roll oats, and this is the type we can just tear off. You can add water to this particular bag. But it's only 100 calories, so I'll need 2 or 3 of these for one particular meal. I like coffee in the morning, and so a lot of times I will use this happens to be the Maxwell House coffee tea bag type things. I'll use 2 of those, and sometimes I like to switch up. This just happens to be a Starbucks coffee mocha. I add 12 or 16 ounces of water. That's 150 calories there. And I've just found a high protein coffee, chai. And so what I do is I'm going to always bring a bottle of Gatorade when I go. I'll drink this in the morning. In the afternoon, I'll put my chai in here, probably 3/4 of the way filled, shake it up real good. It's designed as a cold mocha coffee drink. And so that's kind of my backpacking foods on the trail. What I do is I try to make some things that I just really enjoy eating myself. All right, let me show you a couple things that I do. There's one question that comes up a lot. What do you do about critters? On the Appalachian Trail, you've got bears. I haven't seen one. I go in March, and I'm not sure they're up on the Appalachian Trail by that time. But one of the first things I do when I get into camp, again, I set my backpack down. I get my food bag out. All my food is in this particular bag. And then I go to, I've got an outside bag here that is a green bag. Green is kind of earthy. And in my green bag, I've got this. I actually found this on the trail. This is just a simple little bag that has some rope in it. I put a rock in here. I've got a little carabiner on the end. I hook my carabiner to this. I undo my rope and I throw this over a tree. I want to pull my food up in the air so that it's at least 10 feet off the ground and 6 feet away from a tree. That keeps raccoons and mice in particular. A lot of the shelters on the Appalachian Trail are overrun by mice, and so this keeps my food safe. So I hang my food, I pull it up, I tie it off so that my food's safe. And one of the things I do is I'll get, I'm going to make a breakfast, one of my favorite go-to breakfast. We're going to see how this goes here. I'm just heating up some water there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one of my lunches. One of the lunches that I found out that's real easy to make on the trail is pepperoni pizzas. And so what I do is in one particular bag, I have everything for I'm probably going to eat this for supper. I've taken pepper jack cheese, and in my vacuum seal bag, I've sucked out all the air out of it. This is 210 calories of pepper jack cheese. I've gone ahead and laid out the pepper jack cheese on a tortilla shell. The tortilla shell itself is 140 calories. And then I've got some pepperonis. I bought a pack of pepperonis. Pepperonis do not need to be frozen. They've got them on the end caps in the aisle. And so I will take some pepperonis and on my tortilla shell and lay out my pepperonis for a pizza. And then what I did is I took a can of pizza sauce and I split it about a third, and this is about 5 ounces of pizza sauce. And so what I can do is I take my trusty little knife, I cut a little corner of it off, and then I pour some pizza sauce on my my tortilla shell. What is this thing? And so I have made me a real simple little lunch or a supper, and this is about 300 calories right here. Makes it real easy, real convenient. If it's cold when you get into shelter, if it's rainy and you don't want to get the pot going, you can just make something real simple like that. I didn't show you the rest of my kitchen bag, my utensils. This is my kitchen utensils. This is all I take. I've got enough right here in this utensil to do everything I need. My other utensil is just a real simple neck knife that I carry. It's readily available. This is Techna, a little boater type of knife that I carry around my neck. And the other things that I've got, I always carry, I told you I have my primary, which is a little pezzo lighter on that stove. I've got matches. I also take a little long-necked, big type of lighter to light with. When you heat something up in a pot, this is a cork coaster. When you heat something up, you don't want to set it down on a cold rock, and so I'll set it on something that's a little bit more insulated. I have, what are these things called? These are terry cloths. It's not cotton. It's maybe got cotton in it, but they're real strong. But then it's not something that's real expensive. So I'll use these and I'll throw them away at the end of the trail. In my kitchen bag also is a real simple little windscreen that if it's windy out, I can put it around my stove. My pot scrubber, I took, just a sponge with the little green scrubby stuff on one side. That's all I need for the whole week. And I tell you, this is just a little striker that I could get my stove going. If that piezo lighter didn't work, I could create a spark with this to get my lighter going. And also is my soap. I use Dr. Bonner's Castile soap. You can use this to clean your utensils with. I use it to bathe with. They say you can even brush your teeth with it because it's biodegradable. And so that's Bonner's soap. So what I've done is I've heated up some water there. I take my real simple, this is my granola, my muesli that I've made at home. It's about a cup of it with a quarter cup of dried milk, and then I take some boiling hot water and I add about 3/4 of a cup to that, and I stir it up in my Ziploc bag. In my little cozy, I'm going to add some more water to it. Usually I boil enough water to add for my breakfast, but also for my coffee as well. And so I mix it up. And so I've got my breakfast here. I can let this sit like this, fairly insulated. I added some rope paracord to this so I can clip it on the outside of my pack. One time for lunch, I took my half a cup of dried vegetables. I added a cup of water to it in a Ziploc bag, and I put it on the outside of my backpack by supper. It wasn't fully hydrated, but I didn't have to do near as much. And so a lot of people think, well, wouldn't that, no, it doesn't melt the plastic. And so here, I've got one of the best breakfasts that I love to eat, whether it's home or on the trail. I take this with me. So that's backpacking. That's kind of the food, some of the foods, an introduction. And as you see, it's something that I started out doing the store-bought stuff. But 2 years ago, we were in the last year we were in the Smoky Mountains, and I opened up one of these store-bought type of things. All you do is you add hot water to it, you seal it up, you let it kind of reabsorb the water for 5 or 10, 15 minutes, and then you eat it. And I thought, man, this is the worst stuff I've ever eaten. I had to eat it though. I ate half of it, dumped the rest of it. The next night I tried a different brand, a different type of meal for supper, and it tasted just as bad. I thought, man, I've got to do something different. So I've been making my own foods. I don't take many of these store-bought foods anymore. I just kind of make my own. And Sandy's putting up with me at the house. We'll try different recipes. The other night we had pizzas together. Just a real simple thing to do. I liked it. She liked it. Real quick. And so enjoy. Just try different things. Try these, and you'll find some of those, even some of the foods that you find at Walmart, you'll find some that you'll really like. So that's the foods. Next time when we get together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up my pack, and we're just going to go through my pack, and I'm going to show you the things that I take on a backpacking trip. Y'all have a good week.